All right, let's dive right in. We all love playing games, but have you ever really stopped to think about what makes them tick? How are they actually built? Well, today, we're going to peel back that curtain. We're going to see the world through a game designer's eyes, using Jesse Schell's masterpiece, The Art of Game Design, as our guide.
Right off the bat, we have to bust the biggest myth out there. So many people think the game designer is just the writer, the person who dreams up the plot. But as Schell makes crystal clear, nope, that's not even close to the whole picture.
Here's the key. A game designer's real job is to be an architect of experience. They craft everything the player sees, does, and feels. The rules you have to follow, the amazing feeling of a reward, the sting of a punishment, the look, the sound, the pacing, all of it. That's the designer's job. They're literally building an emotional journey for you.
Schell has this brilliant metaphor for the designer's mindset. He talks about the skin and the skeleton. The skin is what you experience, the fun, the frustration, the feeling of being totally immersed. The skeleton is the structure underneath that creates that feeling, the mechanics, the rules, the code. A great designer has to see both at the exact same time, understanding how that hidden structure creates the visible experience.
But what even is a game when you get right down to it? Schell boils it down to this beautifully simple definition. It's not about amazing graphics or fancy controllers. It's about solving a problem, but, and this is the secret sauce, doing it with a playful attitude. This simple idea is the foundation for everything we're about to get into.
So, let's start by looking at that skeleton, right? To really get how designers build these experiences, we first need to understand the fundamental parts that every single game is made of.
And this is it. It's called the elemental tetrad, the 4 basic building blocks. You've got mechanics, that's the rules and the actions of the game. You've got story, the narrative that pulls you through. Aesthetics, how the game looks, sounds, and just generally feels. And of course, technology, the medium that makes it all possible. Every game, I don't care if it's chess or cyberpunk, is just a unique mix of these 4 things.
And the trick is, they have to work together. Take a total classic like Space Invaders. The mechanics are dead simple: shoot and dodge. The story is a basic sci-fi invasion. The aesthetics are so stark and iconic, and the technology was brand new for its time. See, none of these pieces are revolutionary on their own, but together they created a perfectly unified, unforgettable experience. They were all pulling in the same direction.
And this brings us right back to our core idea. It's not enough to just know these parts exist. A designer has to see the connection, to understand exactly how a specific mechanic, the skeleton, is making the player feel a certain way, the skin. That right there, that's the magic link.
Okay, but how do designers actually do that? How do they analyze their own creations to make them better? Well, this next part is the real aha moment. This is the secret tool that lets you start to think just like a designer.
The secret isn't some checklist or a magic formula. It's a method of asking questions. Schell's book is built around over 100 lenses, and each lens is just a specific question, a unique perspective to view your game through. It helps you see it in a new light and uncover its hidden strengths and all of its weaknesses.
Let's try one out. The lens of fun. Sounds obvious, right? But think about it. It's not just asking, is it fun? It's asking, what parts of my game are fun? And crucially, why? This forces the designer to actually dissect that feeling of enjoyment, to understand its source instead of just hoping it happens by accident.
Now let's go deeper. The lens of essential experience forces a designer to get to the absolute core. Forget all the features for a second. What is the one single powerful feeling you want to leave your player with? Is it the thrill of discovery, the pride of mastery, the joy of creativity? By defining that, every other decision has a clear goal, a North Star to follow.
Lenses can also be super practical and mechanical. The lens of triangularity is a perfect example. It's all about creating meaningful choices. Think about taking a shortcut in Mario Kart. It's a classic high-risk, high-reward option. You might crash, but hey, you might get way ahead. Sticking to the main track is low-risk, low-reward. This simple triangle of choices is what creates tension, strategy, and a ton of excitement.
So, what does all of this mean for you, the player? Well, it means you're pretty much never going to look at games the same way again.
Before you might have just said, wow, this is fun. But now you can see the machinery behind the magic. You can say, you know what, this is fun because the designer used triangularity to create this really tense choice between risk and reward. You can see the why behind the wow.
This knowledge doesn't ruin the fun. If anything, it deepens your appreciation.
You're no longer just a consumer of the experience. You're an informed critic who can recognize the craft, the clever decisions, and the hidden artistry that went into building the world you're playing in.
So, the next time you pick up a controller, I want you to ask yourself this question. You can see the skeleton now, the mechanics, the aesthetics, the loops, but what is the essential experience? What is that one powerful feeling that makes your favorite game's heart truly beat? Think about it.